Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Retro Davo coming to you, and we finally did it, guys, because today I managed to secure an Xbox Series X. I literally almost had to fight for this thing. I went to the GameStop event that they were having, the whole limited stock, in-store only event. So my GameStop opened at 11, so I got there at 9, and I was the first one in line, and I saw the sign, and they only had 4, and I almost didn't get it. But I won't go into that. I know what you guys want to see. The unboxing, of course. So, let's do it. So I believe we start by putting it this way. We take our knife, cut those stickers. Oh, I have it the wrong way. What do you know, guys? I have it the wrong way. I'm sorry. There's some more stickers on here. Now comes the fun part. Power your dreams. Well, nope, it is the other way. There it is. It's a beauty. And let me tell you, folks, this thing is heavy. It is super heavy. So what's down here? Telling us about how to set up the mobile app. Looks like there's some stuff in here. Yes, there is. First we got batteries. We got our Series X controller. We'll see how this compares to the Xbox One controller later on in a little bit. Got the 4K HDMI, figure 8 cable, and instructions, and that's it for the box. So let's close that up. I'm so happy and excited. So take that off. And voila! And there she is, my friends. There is my brand new, just bought today, Xbox Series X. The reason I went with the Xbox Series X and not the Series S is because, one, the disk drive. I'm a big physical media person, and there are advantages of having physical media. Like the download speeds are much faster when you're using a disk as opposed to just straight downloading. But that might not be enough for some of you. But it's also, for the price, the much more capable system. And we've seen developers and their games prove over and over that the Xbox is the power winner of this generation. So let's see what it's got. First of all, look at this. If I tilt the camera upwards, isn't that cool? It's literally just a piece of plastic, but depending on the angle, how much you see gets bigger and smaller. That's so cool. So on the front, we've got one USB. We got the disk eject. We've got the controller sync. And on the back, we've got your Ethernet, two more USB ports, your 4K output, your storage expansion, which I don't have yet, and your power. So what do you say? Let's plug it in. So first, here's your power cable. Next, you take your HDMI cable. Now granted, in order to be able to capture it for you guys, so it won't be 4K while you're viewing it, but I figured you guys would not mind. So let's plug it in and hook her up. So as you can see, I've got my Series X plugged into my Vizio 4K television, and I'm handheld mode, so if you've noticed any shaking, please forgive me. But as I zoom in here, so I remember John from Digital Foundry was really angry about how the user interface on the Series X was only still 1080p. Well, either Microsoft has upgraded it, or this is still 1080p, and if this is 1080p, guys, who gives a shit? It's a user interface. It's not the experience. It's just something I had to mention. And John, from Digital Foundry, you made yourself look like an absolute idiot thinking that people are going to be upset about an interface being 1080p versus 4K. Why should they put a 4K interface when they can use that extra space for the games? You idiot. And just so you guys know, the Xbox Series X, I know a lot of you will know this, but trust me, I've run into some people who don't understand. This is the Xbox Series X. This is Microsoft's next generation console. Unlike the similarly named Xbox One X. Xbox Series X, Xbox One X. They're not the same. This is compatible with Xbox One games. This is a last gen console. This is the new gen console. Okay? They have very similar names, but they're not the same. Now, as you can see, the controllers are very much the same, with a few exceptions. One, I like the clicky circle pad as opposed to this 4-direction D-pad. This has 8 directions. And also, Series X controllers are backwards compatible on Xbox One, and these are forwards compatible, but there's another big difference. Capturing will now be a whole lot easier on Series X because of the capture button, and it uses USB-C. So, yeah, I think I'll be using this controller a lot more, and it's going to make things a lot easier. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, but what good is a new gen console with no games? Xbox has no games. Oh, really? You want to bet? I have two optimized for Series X games that I got, that I've had for a while. Call of Duty Cold War, when it came out last year, I bought the Series X version because it came with the Xbox One version, so that when I got this, I'd have something to play. Likewise, with Doom Eternal. Also the Xbox Series X version, but comes with the Xbox One version. I was being prepared. But, in addition, you want to say Xbox has no games? I know, I'm looking like Dreamcast guy for a moment here, but I have to zoom back so you can even see all these games. These are all my Xbox One titles that I own. All of these are backwards compatible with the Series X, as well as Xbox 360 and original Xbox games. The PS5 does not do that. And the Xbox Series X upgrades your games, whereas the PS5 runs the PS4 versions of the PS4 games and not upgrading them in any way except for a few titles if they throw out a patch, or it runs the PS4 Pro versions. It does not. The PS5 does not do the same thing as the Series X. The Xbox and Microsoft do backwards compatibility a lot better and have many more games. And E3, they announced a lot of exclusives. So let's get into it, folks. So one of the reasons why I wanted to switch to the Xbox Series X, obviously, is the backwards compatibility. Knowing how, it seems going forward, all games are going to carry forward. I know they're working on trying to get the entire Xbox 360 library, as well as the original Xbox library, all up and running. They've got a pretty good lead start, more so on the 360 than on the original Xbox titles, but they're slowly working on it. But also, I have a lot of games and not a lot of room, and even if I have to get, a regular hard drive for a while to use with the Series X, I know that switching between the SSD and the standard hard drive is super quick, like ridiculously quick. And the SSD is another reason. The load times are just unbelievable on the Series X. Like, Sony kind of shot themselves in the foot. Yes, they waited and used the faster, newer SSD, but a faster, newer SSD isn't going to be faster if the software you use to optimize files is not faster. Like, I don't know what it is. People have compared the load times between the Series X and the PlayStation 5, and for whatever reason, even though they have a slower, older SSD, Xbox's SSD is faster. I think it's probably because whatever they're using to optimize is a lot quicker than the PS5s. But also, I went with Xbox because, well, for one, my gold is about to run out, and I now have a laptop, a gaming laptop, that I use for editing, but I also want to take advantage of, uh, you know, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And so if I have the Xbox Series X, as well as my PC and my phone, I'm all good to go. There's many reasons why I'm excited about Xbox over PlayStation 5. One of them being, I don't want to support Sony if they're going to continue to put CMOS batteries that require PlayStation Network to be connected in order to use your physical media. I can't support something like that. And knowing how they are with backwards compatibility, who knows? They may not stay on the backwards compatibility train forever. They certainly... remember back in the days of the PS2, it looked like going forward, because next thing you know, the PS3's backwards compatibility. But then they took the PS2 backwards compatibility away and only did PS1 backwards compatibility on the PS3 Slim. And then with the PS4, they completely took all backwards compatibility away. And so, with someone who is adamant about keeping their games, and I really love to play both new and old games, and so for me, the obvious choice between both the power, the PS5, and the Xbox being the same price, as well as the backwards compatibility, it was a no-brainer. I had to go with Xbox. And the gameplay that you're seeing here of Call of Duty Cold War was captured on my Xbox Series X. And let me tell you, the load times are next to non-existent. Like, it's amazing jumping from what used to be tons of load screens right into a game. I'm telling you, I'm going to have a really good time with this thing. Also, just, it feels so smooth on the Xbox Series X. And if you really want an Xbox Series X, I know it's hard to get one right now, and I feel really bad if you can't get one right now. I just got super lucky. I was not anticipating I would even get one this year. But after E3, when I saw GameStop post that on the 16th they would have Xbox Series X and S's in their store, I was like, I jumped on that bandwagon, and I got there 2 hours before they opened. And as I said, I was the first one there, and that's how I secured it. Now, there were many complications along the way that we weren't expecting, but my GameStop employees were very, very understanding, and they had seen me out for 2 hours, and they wanted to make sure for my dedication that I walked away with it. So yeah, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is the Xbox Series X, Microsoft's next-gen console. I know it's hard to get one right now, and I wouldn't go out and buy one, except that I have a massive backlog of games that are backwards compatible, and I'm about to sign up for Game Pass Ultimate. You're welcome to get one if you want, but it's a pain in the butt. So take care, and I'll see you real soon, folks. RetroDavo out. Xbox.